Hello, this is Bob74H. Sorry I haven't uploaded a video in a while, but today I'll be, I guess, digging on versus debaters. Like what I normally do, I guess. I don't do it that often, but, I'll continue with my little thing here. So, my problem with them ultimately is how they describe themselves. If you describe yourself as a debater, right, you describe yourself as someone who wants to debate ideas, discuss, or whatever. Obviously, your intention is to debate, but they don't want that. They want their quiet little forums where they have no one to question them and it's only their group. It's so stupid too. You could be like, well, isn't it stupid that your entire argument is literally just saying you're wrong because people disagree with you? Actually, guys, you have to stop it because everyone agrees with me. It's like, so is that it? Is, like, your argument literally just that everyone on the planet agrees with you? Is that it? So, like, if everyone told you to kill yourself, would you go jump off the bridge? That's so stupid. Like, if your argumentation is literally everyone agrees with you, then I could just say, well, I guess you should kill yourself because, everyone told you to, so I guess that's the likely course of action in that case. Obviously, I'm being hypothetical. I'm making a hypothetical here, and I'm saying, if everyone told you to kill yourself, would you do it? I'm not saying it's okay to kill yourself. I'm just saying the argument for why you would say something is correct or not, being based off public consensus, is utterly retarded. Because the public consensus can say anything, and it doesn't really have to make sense. And that's kind of the thing of the public consensus. It doesn't have to make sense because it's not abiding by logic, because that's not why people use the public consensus argument to begin with. Is there a utility for public consensus in, social spheres? Yes, but when you're having a debate, the idea is that you're supposed to have discourse. And having this sort of, this argument is just, there's no discourse to have about it. It's just everyone agrees with me, and that's the end all. And it's just stupid because it's saying, well, the people who agree with my side also agree with my side, therefore I'm right. It's like if I was a Christian and I went up to someone and I said, hey, I think you, the atheist, are wrong. And he's like, why do you think me, the atheist, is wrong? And I told him, I said, actually, I think you are incorrect because everyone says that you are incorrect on the Christian side. So, like, it's the idea that you're demeaning a position because the people who you side with also, demean the position. And this isn't accounting like how they do have like evidence, but it's so one note that it's like there's no like expansion of discourse that can even be had with it. And even if I have like 50 sources disagreeing if they're one source, they're gonna be like, well, my one source right here, this source that says Sasuke, thinks Momoshiki is, stronger. Yeah, you know what? That's above the manga, which says they're both weaker. That's above Storm 4, which says Kaguya is stronger. That's above Kishimoto, who said the scale would be down. That's above all of that. My one Pacific source is above that. And the thing is, too, these people held that belief regardless, because their belief isn't actually related to Momoshiki himself. Their belief is that if a new character appears, the new character is always stronger than the old character, no matter what. Even if the fucking narrative says time and time again, actually, no, the new ones are weaker. Doesn't matter. It's like with the God of War stands. They're asserting, the new Ragnarok ones, or the new God of War 4 characters are way stronger than the prior ones in the series, even though we have characters like Mimir in the actual narrative saying, these guards, these Greek guards, oh, I've heard they, wielded all this, magic. And even Kratos goes, yeah, we used to have that magic, and even I used to have it, but I lost that power. And, I would explain to someone, I would go, we have Mimir, impressed with the versatility of the magic and implying that that's a thing that would make the Greek gods better, at least in some regard, right? And we have Kratos saying he lost his powers, which would imply he's weaker. But, you can't actually argue the narrative with these people because they don't care about the story. They have their very short-sighted interpretation of the story and they don't care what the actual story says. We have Thor even at one point saying, you're a weaker version to Kratos, like you're a lesser version of what you were during the Ragnarok storyline, during the events of that game, right? And so people, when you bring this up, they'll go like, well, I don't care. Like, they literally just don't care. They'll have their short-sighted interpretation of, like, Corey on Twitter, saying something once, and that's it. Like, that, it's like, Corey said it once, and there's a novel. Like, that's it. Hey, what about Ragnarok, where it literally says 5 times, yeah, fuck Ragnarok and what it says. We're gonna count, like, this random one-off novel. It's like, so the one-off novel is above the, the literal one-off novel is above Ragnarok, the game. It's like, but that's a mainline game entry. It's like, yeah, I don't care, though. Like, that's it. Like, that's literally it. They don't care about the actual logicality or reason behind the argument. It's literally just that it agrees with their, like, politics of how they view things. And you even have, like, Pokemon versus debaters who go like, well, Arceus is universe level. It's like he got damaged by, like, a meteor. Well, that's, like, an outlier. And then I go, okay, so what about Dialga when he got, like, damaged by Darkrai? It's like, Darkrai is just universe level. It's like, Darkrai got damaged by Sceptile. It's like, isn't Sceptile universe level? It's like, Sceptile's like a random-ass Pokemon. Why the fuck would he be universe level? Like, that's the thing. They'll just, like, they'll do, like, this thing where they'll just keep adding descriptors. So, like, everyone in the series is, like, super strong because they just can't admit they're wrong. Like, even if they're just random-ass kids or something, like in Boruto, you'll get, like, people who go, well, Boruto's, like, universe level because he, like, hit Momoshiki and beat him up. And it's like, yeah, you're just retarded, and I know this for a fact, because I don't even think it's, like, retardation. It's partially, like, just ignorance. They don't want to admit their belief is wrong. It's kind of like with Christians, like, their ignorance, like, borders on retardation or stupidity, and it makes them look retarded. And I don't actually think they're retarded. They're just incapable of forming irrational thought because they can only argue around their belief. And it's not even just the belief in the Bible. It's the belief in their, like, fictionalized interpretation of the Bible. It's not even, like, the actual Bible they care about. It's, like, the fictionalized interpretation that their, collective group has of it. It's not even the actual Bible. Like, nowhere does the Bible say, like, killing as a whole is wrong, but they'll be like, the Bible says killing's wrong, so, like, abortion is bad. And this is, like, the same Bible that had, like, God want to destroy the earth or firmament with, like, a flood, and he wanted to, like, sacrifice, I think it was Job's kid or Isaac's kid. I don't remember, like, the actual details of, like, the specifics, but there's been various instances in the the Bible where he's been fine with Yahweh or whatever you want to call him, God has been fine with killing people. And my point being with this, I know it doesn't relate to versus debating because it's not a fictional concept. I mean, I guess it is, but it's not exactly like a fictionalized story. It's more of like a mythology, I guess, and that's kind of where I guess I would make a distinction there. But it is a fictionalized event, you could say. Pacifics aside, I made this comparison to show the actual, like, illogicality of it, like, you have the people who are these debaters, and they'll, they're more akin to, like, they think they're more akin to, like, scientists, and, they'll have, like, these, like, these calcs, and they think they're smart because they can, like, calculate the distance between something, and, like, determine how, powerful that character is by, being able to figure out the actual mass of something by like the composition and, the actual size of the object with comparison to people. And it's like, I get that's, somewhat impressive. I'm not saying it's like an easy thing to do, But my point with it is that you can't phrase yourself as if you're this diplomatic, logical, person when you really have the basis of your entire, argument just be everyone agrees with me and it's just a belief, bro. And then you're gonna get someone in this comment section who's gonna be a disingenuous fucking asshole and say, you know what, who cares, man? And it's like, if you don't care, why did you specifically search up this video, comment on it, like spend precious time? You didn't have to comment, but you're going to go out of your way and comment that you don't care. If you didn't care, why the hell would you have commented to begin with? Clearly you put effort in to type on your keyboard, to type on your phone, to put the effort into commenting. So if you didn't bloody care, you wouldn't have bloody commented, you fucking moron. I can't stand those people who go, well, I don't care, man. It's like you typed up this comment, so clearly you fucking cared. And if you didn't care, then why the hell did you type it? You stupid idiot. And then you get like the same, and then you get those people, who want to, VC everything. And it's not because they want to have like better clarity. It's because they want to like rat on you and like prevent you from properly speaking your mind because they want to like trap you into saying something stupid. And they're like, look, I beat you. It's like, you beat me because you're trapping me and you're like avoiding the actual like fucking question. I had this one guy who I was debating on VC once, and it's like the last time I did it too, and I'm not going to do it again. He was like, Obito has these eyes, and these eyes allow him to teleport. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, Sasuke could teleport with the portals, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, wouldn't that prove Sasuke's stronger? It's like, because he uses the jutsu better? It's like, I guess that's like a line of reasoning you can have. And I said, but there's this other stuff. It's like, yeah, but do you agree that's like a line of reasoning? And it's like, yeah. It's like, oh, so you agree he's stronger then? It's like, you're literally trapping me into answering your question. And then when I ask you to answer like a basic question and I try to be civil with you, you'll just ignore it. And then he'll just shift away from like the accusation I'm making about him being biased, even though it's entirely relevant to the debate. But you get people like that, and then you get frustrated or you get annoyed with those people, and then they'll go, well, you're just salty. It's like, no, I'm frustrated because you're talking to me very dishonestly and you're being very ignorant and condescending. It's like, you're just wrong. It's like, no, I have like 50 sources to prove you're wrong, and the only reason why you're winning is because you have like the ability to like out-talk me. Like you just overspeak me. You're not actually disproving anything. And that's kind of the problem. They care more about like their ideology than any actual logic. I guess the same could be said for any group. But the people who I've addressed in this video, the God of War stands, the Pokemon, versus debaters. You'll even get like, One Punch Man stands who who probably will comment just to spite the Naruto stands, because that's how all this works. The people who comment about Boruto being weak are typically people who don't like Naruto. Or they're people who are, just fans of Shippuden. And then you get the Boruto stands. They'll say, Shippuden. The Shippuden people are biased, as they all of them have like a Kawaki avatar, or they have like an avatar of a Shiki, or they have an avatar of some Boruto character, and they'll be like, you know what, you Shippuden stands are so biased. It's like coming from the guy with the fucking Ashiki avatar. It's like if I walked around with like a Goku headband, and I said like, I'm not biased towards Goku or anything, and all I do is, like, argue on behalf of Goku, regardless of, like, facts to the contrary, and I have a Goku profile picture. It's like, okay, Logically, you'd probably say that person's like a fanboy of Goku, right? But if you tell that to Boruto stands, they're like, well, no, man, that's not nice. You're insulting me. It's like, I'm insulting you? It's like, it's your observed behavior. I'm not calling you a fucking fanboy because I'm trying to demean you. I'm calling you a fanboy because that's what you fucking act like. If you have a Boruto profile picture, like, of a character from Boruto, and you're advocating on behalf of Boruto while being ignorant of facts for Shippuden, then people logically will think you're a Boruto stan. It's not like I'm calling you that because you disagree with me. I'm calling you that because you literally present yourself as that. And then I'll get people in the comment section, of course, all gonna have Kawaki pictures as their profile picture, and they'll be like, no, man, you're just salty. It's like, says the one with the Kawaki profile picture. And the thing is, too, is like, when you like bring up these factoids, you'll be like, well, you have a King Cold profile picture, or you have like a Supreme King profile picture, so you're biased towards them. And it's like not even relevant to like the topic. It's like, even if I am, it's not relevant to the topic, so who cares? And even then, so, like, at various points, I've made it very clear my position isn't based on favoritism. I've even said at one point that, I much prefer the Ginyu Force over, Frieza. Or I prefer King Cold over Frieza. But that doesn't determine whether or not I think they're stronger or not. Like, just because I favoritize a character doesn't mean I think they are stronger. But that's literally the entire argument of the Boruto fan base. They like something more, so therefore it's stronger. And I don't even get why they hate, they have, and that's not to even discuss canon. I guess I'll just, make a brief mention of it here. But you'll get, people who talk about canon as if it's this objective matter, and then they have, like, contradictions in the belief of canon. So you'll be like, Boruto, was wrote by Kodachi, mostly, and you'll be like, isn't that non-canon because it's not wrote by Kishimoto? Or you'll get the same thing with the novels, which aren't wrote by Kishimoto, and they'll count it anyway. So, and it's like, so filler is bad because it's not wrote by Kishimoto, but the novels are fine? Like, at which point you're just going to admit all your beliefs are just based off, like, your own subjective interpretation of, like, like, the viewings you have. Like, it's just based off your viewings of the world. Like, that's it. You don't have any logic towards anything. It's just your belief, and that's it. But that's my problem with versus debaters. Everything is belief-based, and the second you bring up any facts to the contrary, they'll, like, just call you, like a fanboy, or they'll be, like, entirely hostile to you. They're the most immature, illogical people to ever exist. Probably only rivaled by creationists.